Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all on the behalf of StudyIQ IAS English. My name is Pritesh Maturkar. I extend my warmest regards to those who are watching me for the first time today, as well as those who are with me in this beautiful journey. So, today being the 18th lecture of this curriculum, we have traveled quite a long distance, and I hope that this distance is which we have traveled, this journey in which we are traversing, you all are enjoying this journey with me, and I have faith that you are basically finding this content very much useful, because that is the ultimate endeavor of this journey, wherein I, as your able mentor, philosopher, friend and guide, is taking you on a world tour to understand the physiography of earth per se. And in this understanding, we will try to cover up roughly 40 to 50% of your GS geography discourse using the most potent tool in geography discipline, that is the atlas. So 50 to 60% of your basic GS discourse will be borne by me, and using these concepts you will be very easy to understand the advanced level concepts of the geography discipline too. And the content which I'm showcasing you, it will be heavily interlinked with current affairs also. So holistically we'll try to analyze the content, holistically we'll try to analyze the maps, holistically we will try to understand the earth's physiography, so that it actually translates into roughly 10 to 20 marks in prelims and approximately 100 to 200. It may shoot up to 300 to 400 marks if GS paper 3 comes in this purview. So using this knowledge, using this content and using the analysis, I am trying to cover roughly 100 to 300, 400 marks of your mains discourse and roughly 10 to 20 marks of your prelims discourse. And mind you guys, whatever I will be giving you, predominantly it will be having a utilitarian value. So none of the content which I will be showcasing on the board is devoid of utilitarian value. Okay, this being a continuing series, so typical flow of lectures is like this, that in first 5 to 10 minutes I tend to revise whatever we did in the previous classes, then I move ahead, I discuss some of the concepts, and those concepts I tend to explain on the atlas. Okay, so up till now we finished off climatology, we have started the lithosphere part or the geomorphology part in some manner, we have taken 3 lectures on that. So additionally I will be reading 1 or 2 more lectures in making you conceptually understand the earth's surface, basically the lithosphere of earth, what is continental crust, what is oceanic crust, how continents drift, the theory of plate tectonics. So little bit understanding, not a detailed one, but whatever is needed for your understanding of the world's atlas. So that much we are dwelling into. Then we will move into little bit of oceanography, and then we will start thorough analysis of the world atlas. Okay, so in this I am predominantly taking the reference of 11th NCERTs, both the world physical and the Indian physical environment, and I'm taking the help of a book entitled Certificate Physical Human Geography by Goncheng Leon. So this is how I tend to cover up, your atlas, and I'm requesting you guys, none of this content is useful unless and until you work up on this content. Okay, so it's a two-way process, not a single way process. Basically it's a two-way communication. Right now this, you must be feeling that this is a simplex communication, not a duplex one, but believe me, have faith in me, the more you will revert back to me in sense of you working on your own, the better you will get through these classes. Okay, and that's my ultimate goal with you, that's my ultimate endeavor with you, that you and me should both support each other, you and me should put faith in each other, and that we should finally get good all India rank. Okay, so let's start with our journey. As promised, in every lecture I introduce you to one of the images, or I introduce you to one of the locations which I covered in the previous class. So in the previous class I did not cover up that much of locations per se, but I did cover up the volcanic rocks which you find on earth. So the image which you are seeing behind me on this interactive flat panel, this is basically a volcanic eruption on the tallest mountain of earth. Okay, now you must be getting confused, sir, how come this is the tallest mountain on earth? The tallest mountain on earth is Mount Everest. But guys, the tallest mountain on earth is not Mount Everest. Okay, the tallest mountain on earth measured from sea level is Mount Everest, whereas the tallest mountain of the earth is this. This is called as Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. Both of these mountains are in Hawaii. They are approximately more than 10,000 meters in height. The only difference is 6,000 meters is below the sea level and 4,000 meters is above the sea level, and this is volcanic. As you can see, you are having volcanic eruption. So the lava which you are seeing over here, this lava is basically basaltic lava. Okay, and I told you yesterday we did types of rocks. We did the igneous rocks. So in igneous, I discussed basalt, I did discuss andesite, I did discuss granite and diorite. So this is the basaltic lava which is coming out, and this lava basically makes up the bulk of the ocean floor too. So basalt you will predominantly find on the ocean floors. Okay, so again a logical question will come to your brain, sir, how come basalt is getting erupted from this? So for that we need a greater understanding of the functioning of the volcanism, of the magnetic chambers of the convection cells. So that is a part of greater discussion of the geomorphology. Now just understand, just appreciate this, that this is called as a lava river. Okay, so the river is flowing, the basaltic magma or the basaltic lava, it basically flows like river. So it's just like on a teaspoon you have put up honey and you have put up some water. So basically basalt will flow like water. So here you are seeing the basalt flowing like water, and this is predominantly in Hawaii. Okay, this is called as hotspot volcanism. You have numerous hotspots around the world, but this is one of the most active ones, and here if you go you have such beautiful kind of eruptions. And guys, I don't know how many of you have watched my previous lectures, but it is my dream destination, and I want that each one of you who clears, or any one of you who clears the civil service examination, will take me to Hawaii. And as promised, I will take each and every one of you, those who qualify, my students, I will take you to Egypt and Turkey. Okay, yeah, I know about the class ended due to technical issues, so don't worry, I will be picking up from there only. Okay, so now let's start our today's discourse. So in the last discourse, I did introduce you to rocks. I did introduce you to the types of rocks that we have on earth. We discussed the igneous rocks, we discussed the sedimentary rocks, we did discuss the metamorphic rocks. So three types of rocks we discovered in the previous lecture. Okay, so the igneous rocks, if I tend to picture the igneous rocks, so igneous rocks, they are primarily crystalline, they are always crystalline. Okay, they will not have layers, so they are unstratified. They are unstratified, and as they are unstratified, they will not have fossils. They will not have fossils. And examples of igneous rocks, how are igneous rocks formed? Igneous rocks are formed by the cooling and consolidification of either magma if it is inside, or lava if it is outside on the surface of earth. So examples of igneous rocks I did discuss. So intrusive igneous rocks, we discussed granite, we discussed diorite. Okay, so granite and diorite, these are intrusive, whereas extrusive, I did introduce you to andesite, the name Andes, and we have basalt. Okay, basalt is the common rock of the ocean floor. So these are some of the extrusive and the intrusive igneous rocks. On the contrary, sedimentary rocks, the sedimentary rocks, as they are formed by compaction, as they are formed by consolidification, and as they are formed by lithification of the sediments, so you can have different layers. So they are always stratified. They are stratified. Okay, they are always layered. As they are layered, so in the middle of the layers, the water and oxygen are removed by lithification, and as oxygen and water are removed, it reduces what? It reduces the decomposition rate of the organism. So if any of the organisms get stuck between the layers, it is there for eternity. So I introduced you a movie, Dinosaurs, yesterday. So Jurassic Park. So basically the DNA fragments which you get of dinosaurs, majority of the fossils you always find in the sedimentary rocks. And as they are stratified, you will always find fossils in them, always in the sense that wherever you have fossils will be predominantly found in sedimentary rocks, and they are not crystalline. Examples of sedimentary rocks. Okay, you have limestone, you have sandstone, okay, you have mudstone. So all of these are examples of sedimentary rocks. On the contrary, the metamorphic rocks, Metamorphic rocks are formed because of drastic transformation of the igneous and sedimentary rocks under intense pressure and temperature. Under intense pressure and temperature. So, because of this, because of intense pressure and temperature, as the metamorphic rocks are forming, so this results into a kind of rock which is not always crystalline, but they can have crystalline phases. They will always be unlayered, and as they are unlayered, they will always be unfossiliferous. You will not find fossils in metamorphic rocks. Okay, and some of the examples of metamorphic rocks, you get marble. Okay, you get marble. From limestone you get genesis. Okay, gneiss. From granite, okay, you get shale. Okay, you get phyllite, you get schist from shellstone. So these are some of the examples of metamorphic rocks. We did not go into the details of this. Okay, after that I introduced you to a phenomenon called as the shield regions. Okay, so if we consider the surface of the earth, or if we consider the layers of the earth, so for our understanding, or on the basis of chemical composition, the earth is layered into crust, the earth is layered into mantle, and the earth is layered into core. Okay, crust, mantle, and core. So if we consider the crust predominantly you have two types of crust. You have continental crust and you have oceanic crust. Okay, so if you consider the continental crust, every continental crust will have a platform or a basement rock. Okay, there will be a platform or a basement rock. Okay, there will be a platform or a basement rock. Okay, or a basement rock, or a basement core. Okay, or a basement core rock on which the entire continental slab rests. And what are basically this platform or basement core rocks? This platform or basement core rocks, they are normally called as cratons. And what are cratons? Cratons are nothing but numerous fused granitic dioritic blocks. Numerous fused granitic or dioritic blocks. And what is this each block called? Each block is called as batholith. Each block is called as batholith. So if anybody asks you that what are the core or basement rock of the continental crust, you will say that they are called as cratons. What are cratons? Cratons are nothing but numerous fused granitic or dioritic blocks, and each of this block it is called as batholith. So craton is nothing but numerous fused batholiths. It is nothing but numerous fused batholiths. Numerous fused batholiths. Okay, and the areas where this basement or core rock gets exposed. Okay, so just imagine this. Okay, so this is a mountain range. Okay, this is our land surface. Okay, this is the basement or the core rock over here. Okay, and here you have the sea. So this is our sea. Now this is our craton. Okay, this is our land surface. Okay, so now because of differential erosion, why? Who will cause differential erosion? The agents of denudation, the agents of erosion. You have water, you have rivers, you have glaciers, you have gravity. Okay, all of these, they will start eroding the land surface like this. And as they erode the land surface, this craton will now get exposed. So because of differential erosion, okay, the underlying craton or the basement or the core rock gets exposed. Okay, so the underlying craton is now exposed like this. Okay, so this is our exposed craton, and those areas where the craton is exposed, we call such areas to be the shield regions of the world. To be the shield regions of the world. So, what are shield regions? What are shield regions? Okay, shield regions. So, the shield regions are those areas where the underlying craton is exposed, where the underlying craton is exposed. And as the underlying craton is exposed, the shield regions, they become the mineral hotspots of the world. They become the mineral hotspots. They become the mineral hotspots of the world per se. So if anybody is again asking you that which regions will dominate in terms of mineral resources, where in the world you will predominantly find minerals, so your one word answer should be the shield regions of the world. Okay, so this is where I ended up my discussion in the last class due to a technical glitch. So now let's do some of the important shield regions of the world. Okay, let us go and analyze that which of the regions of the world are called as the shield regions of the world. So now let us take use of the atlas. Let us take use of the maps per se. Guys, again, I'm using the world outline only. I'm not going to the details of the countries. For now, just understand where you have shield regions. When we'll do the detailed analysis, there we'll try to paint a picture. How do these shield regions influence the local economy? Okay, how do these shield regions have resulted into the development of society, into the development of the socio-economic conditions of that particular area? Okay, so just now focus, have faith in me, just try to appreciate where we have shield regions. Detailed analysis will follow soon. Okay, so if I'm opening up the world atlas for you all. Okay, so now I'm just discussing the shield regions and we will move from west to east. Okay, so for the first time, guys, I am now giving you direction based evidences. Okay, and this is how I will move ahead in the sense that this is how I will now do the atlas part for you. Okay, normally I tend to follow west to east. It's your prerogative, it's your absolute right, guys, whether you want to remember from west to east to west, north to south, or south to north. Okay, it's my way of remembering things. It does not mean that you should do the same way I am doing things. What matters is you do the thing, you improvise on yourself, and you become my superior. Okay, please get this in mind. Okay, I am being a faculty in StudyIQ does not mean that you cannot supersede me. The ultimate aim is this only, that you have to supersede us one day, because you have to run the government, you have to be the part of the bureaucracy of India, you have to implement everything. So it will be the most happiest day of my life that those of you who are watching me, Abhay, if you are listening to this, if you supersede me. Okay, if you become my guru. Today I'm your guru, but I want you to become my guru someday. Okay, that will be the happiest day. So for the first time now, I'm introducing directional kind of approach in atlas, and I will stick to this approach till the very end. Okay, I will not let go of this approach. So let's be very clear, whichever entries I will deal with, I will go from west to east. So that will be my approach. It's your prerogative whether you want to remember east to west, west to east, north to south, or south to north. Okay, so the first shield region of the world that I'm considering, or I'm painting in front of you, it is one of the most resource rich region of the world, and it is largely untapped. Okay, why? Because majority of it is around the permafrost region of the world. In winters, the conditions over there become very, very harsh, and the first shield region is this region of the world. Okay, I'm deliberately using a thick marker for showcasing you the shield region. So this is the first shield region of the world that I'm discussing with you. This is called as Labrador or Laurentia. This is called as Labrador region, and the name of the plateau, it is called as Laurentia, Labrador Laurentia. And this is called as, this region in total, it is called as Canadian Shield. It is called as Canadian Shield. Okay, this is called as Canadian Shield. So one of the most important shield regions of the world. This is very dominant. This is very resource rich region of the world. Okay, you have minerals, manganese, zinc, you have copper, okay, you have zirconium, okay, you have cadmium, okay. It is yet untapped for lithium, but for sure you will also find lithium. Now all you know that presently you have lithium race. Why? Because lithium is a now very important mineral. It is a very important rare earth mineral, critical mineral for the greening of the transport fleet, for the greening of the economy. So this region is also going to be tapped for lithium reserves. But this is very important shield region of the world. This is called as Labrador Laurentia. The name of the region in general is Labrador. It is called as Laurentia Plateau, and together this region is called as the Canadian Shield. Okay, appreciate it, Abhay. Thank you. This is called as Canadian Shield. Okay, so in North America you predominantly have two shield regions. One of it is in Canada. The second one of it is over here. Okay, it is over here. It is the shield region of USA. This shield region, this is called as Ozark Plateau. This is called as Ozark Plateau. This is called as Ozark Plateau. So Ozark Plateau is the shield region of USA. So don't forget this. The first shield region I discussed is the Canadian Shield, Labrador Laurentia. Then you have Ozark Plateau. Okay. So now let's divert our attention towards the south. Let's go towards South America. In South America, predominant shield region is in the Argentina. Okay, it is in the Argentina and Chile border. This region of Argentina, Chile, this is called as Patagonia. This is called as Patagonia. So Patagonia is a very important shield region of South America. Okay, you also have shield region in the Brazil, but that shield region is not that of consequence. So predominant shield region of South America you can consider to be of Patagonia. Okay, this part of South America, Argentina and the Chilean border, this region is called as Patagonia. And mind you, Patagonia is also cold desert, okay, like we have in Ladakh. So Patagonia is a very important shield region in South America. Okay, now let's move ahead. Let us divert our attention to Europe. Okay, let us divert our attention to Scandinavia. Okay, in Europe, the most dominant shield region is again the Kejolan Mountains. This complete part of Scandinavia, this complete is a shield region. You remember we did this entry, we discussed the Kejolan Mountains. So Kejolan Mountains have uplifted in the Caledonian mountain building phase. So this entire region is a shield region of Scandinavia. Okay, and in Germany you also have one shield region. This is called as Bavaria. Okay, so Bavaria is also a very important shield region in Germany. Okay, it includes the Black Forest region, it includes the Bohemian Forest region, and it includes a region called as Schwarzwald Alps. But for now, just remember Bavaria. And those of you are watching me, especially boys, so you must have heard a company called as BMW. Okay, anybody try to comment the full form of BMW, but don't Google it. Okay, don't Google it. Okay, I'm pausing for a second. Okay, the full form of BMW is Bavarian Motor Works. Okay, so it's this part of Germany, the southern part of Germany, from where the BMW brand was born. And BMW was basically manufacturing the propellers for the plane engines. So if you see BMW logo, so you have alternate triangles of blue and white. So blue, white, blue, white, blue, white. So that blue color in BMW logo is basically the sky. So if you see a plane's propeller, so in the middle you can see the sky. So that is where the BMW logo has come from. Okay, the Bavarian Motor Works. So this is a very important shield region for Germany. And guys, this is why World War II started. Why? Because after World War I, it was the Versailles Treaty which Germany was forced to sign, and that gave a thorn, or that basically pinched Adolf Hitler, that how come it's our country, it's our land, and we are not able to use our resources. So now we have to do something. So Hitler rose up, he became the Chancellor of Germany in 1933, and after that, First War began in 1939. So rest is history, but that history is again repeating. Again, Europe is engulfed in war. Today, Russia, Ukraine. Okay, so history repeats itself. Okay. Now, then next move forward. Now, the most important shield region of the world as of today, in future we don't know, because right now Afghanistan is not yet that explored, but Afghanistan has a very rich potential for becoming one of the most important shield region. But if you ask me, sir, as of today, which is the most dominating shield region of the earth, wherein you find majority of the minerals, wherein you find heavy concentration of majority of minerals on earth, so it lies over here. This is called as Katanga Plateau of Africa. Okay, mind you, this is not South Africa. Okay, Katanga Plateau is not in South Africa, it is in Southern Africa. South Africa is a separate country in the south. So Katanga Plateau is the most dominating shield region of the world as of yet. Okay, we don't know what Afghanistan holds for us, because you all know Afghanistan was engulfed in civil war. Right now it is also engulfed in civil war, so majority of it is untapped. Okay, so Katanga is the most dominating shield region of the world. Okay, now if we get to our India, why leave India behind? Okay, in India, do we have shield region? Yes, we have shield region. Rather, we have very good shield region. So the entire Ladakh is a shield region. Okay, the entire Ladakh is a shield region. Okay, Afghanistan, the Pamir Mountains, the Pamir elevation, they are also a very important shield region. Guys, mind you, I am reiterating, what are shield regions? Shield regions are those areas where the basement or the core rock of the continents is exposed. Okay, so please make sure that you get this definition very properly, and predominantly shield regions will dominate the metal resources. Okay, and as of you all know that right now the critical minerals and the rare earth minerals are very much in demand. Lithium, cobalt, zirconium, zinc, copper, all of this are very much in demand. Okay, so the shield regions become very important, and recently this year only you had one of the most major discoveries in Jammu and Kashmir, that you have found lithium reserves in India. So again, a very important news, and you will have to cover this region from that perspective, because location of resources is very important topic in your GS paper 1. Okay, resource location and resource management, these topics come in very handy if you have done the spatial analysis. Hence, first I am showcasing you on a physical map. There are no locations marked over here, but when we will do the individual locations, then you can appreciate the country, then you can appreciate the important cities around it. Okay, so let's move ahead. Then another very important shield region of the world, and dare I say, after Katanga Plateau, the most important shield region of the world comes in Southeast Asia. It's over here in Myanmar and in Thailand. I am again reiterating, it is in Myanmar and it is in Thailand. Very famous for gemstones. Okay, so the ruby which you are seeing on my hand, okay, high chance that this ruby has come from this part. Why? Because Myanmar is the country which basically mines world's best rubies, and rubies, it is the second hardest substance known to man after diamond. So ruby has got a very good breaking point. The shear stress of ruby is very high. So these two regions, they are called as Shan Plateau. These are called as Shan Plateau, and this is called as Korath Plateau. Okay, so Shan Plateau of Myanmar and Korath Plateau of Thailand, very important shield regions of the world. Okay, gemstones, they are known for gemstones. Okay, so rubies, you have sapphires. Okay, then you won't find diamonds over here. Diamonds you will predominantly find in the Katinga region down south of Katanga, but here you will primarily find gemstones. Okay, then next, let's move to the Australian outbacks, the most important shield region of Australia and the most important shield region of the world for thorium reserves. Okay, so Australia exports the highest amount of thorium in the world. So the entire Western Australia, the entire Western Australia, it's a shield region, and the name of this, okay, please understand, the entire Western Australia is a shield region, but the most dominating region of this, where you predominantly find rare earth minerals, this part of Western Australia, this is called as Kimberley. This is called as Kimberley. So the Kimberley region of Western Australia is a very, very important shield region. I'm again reiterating, the Kimberley region of the Western Australian outback. Mind you, 2/3 of Australia is a desert territory. Okay. So in that desert territory, Kimberley Plateau serves as a very important rare earth mineral center. And here near Perth, okay, here you have two ranges. You have Darling Range and you have Hammersley Range. I'm again reiterating, guys. Here you have two ranges. This is called as Darling Range. Okay, Darling Range over here. Guys, up till now, I have not introduced you to mountains. First time I'm introducing you in this manner. Don't get frightened. Here you have Darling Range and here you have a range called as Hammersley. Here you have a range called as Hammersley. Okay, both of these ranges are known for thorium reserve. And India imports thorium maximum from Australia. And Australia has the number one ranking or position for exporting thorium to the entire world per se. Okay, so this is very important shield region of Australia. Then let's go to the small country of New Zealand. Okay, in New Zealand, do we have shield region? Yes, we do have shield region. Okay, so in New Zealand, you have shield region on the southern island, this part of southern island. Okay, so this is called as the Dunedin province. This is called as the Dunedin province. Okay, this is also called as Mackenzie Shield. Okay, Mackenzie Shield region. Mackenzie Shield. Okay, Mackenzie Shield. So very important part of New Zealand, Dunedin or Mackenzie Shield. So this is the shield region of New Zealand. Okay, there is also a common name. Okay, so I'm not now recollecting the local name over here, but there is a local name in that dialect which this region is referred to. Just give me a second if I can think of that name. Yeah, the local name of this part or the local name of this shield. Okay, the local dialect of New Zealand is Maori. Maori are the original inhabitants of the New Zealand. So the local name of this region, it is called as Otago Shield. Otago. Okay, so it is a part of the Mackenzie Shield. So the local name of this is Otago. Okay, so you can remember the Otago Shield. Okay. Now, interestingly, you will ask me, sir, what about China? Where is China in this picture? Okay, so as you all know, guys, China is not that resource rich. So China does not have a very good shield region in the entire world. Hence, China has to depend on Afghanistan. China has to depend on Africa. Hence, the Belt and Road Initiative of China. Okay, 2/3 of China. Again, this entire part of China, if you see this, see this region. Okay, see this. See what China is. So, okay. So this complete region of China is again desert. It is inhospitable. Majority of the population of China will reside in the southeast part. So this part is the agricultural heartland of China. So this is the agricultural heart of China. Okay, China does not have a good dominance of the shield regions, a good dominance of the rare earth minerals. Hence, China has to reach. So when Taliban basically took control of Afghanistan, when USA did a hasty retreat, and that is the characteristic of USA, first go somewhere, create havoc, and then leave the country once you have earned the requisite amount of money. USA invested roughly $2.7 trillion in Afghanistan, guys. Just if I'm trying to paint a picture for you, the GDP of India today, okay, the GDP of India today stands at this, and that much amount of money USA invested in Afghanistan under the pretext of maintaining civil order. But see today where Afghanistan is. So in diplomatic terms, it's a very famous dialogue that it is better to be the enemy of USA than to be friends of USA, because USA has this notorious history that whichever territory they will go into, they will wreak havoc and they will just leave it. So after USA left Afghanistan in Lingo, the first country which called the Afghanistan delegation of Taliban to them was China. So China first gave the invitation to Taliban that please come as a delegation and meet us. Why? Because China knows that all of their EV market, all of their green technology have to be reliant on Afghanistan's lithium. They cannot get it from India. Africa, you have to do heavy investment because you have to cross so much land, you have to cross so much of ocean, so much of sea. So why not tap Afghanistan? Just a neighbor. So this is how the world works, guys. This is how the world economy functions. So guys, these are now some of the important shield regions of the world. I hope you have gotten the concept, and I hope that the locations are little bit clear to you. So if I'm again reiterating the shield regions for you all, let me just quickly write those down so that you get a bird's eye view of what I'm talking about. Okay. So the important shield regions of the world in North America, you have predominantly two shield regions. Number one, it is called as the Canadian Shield. It is called as the Canadian Shield. Okay. It is also called as Labrador Laurentia. Labrador Laurentia. Laurentia. Okay. The second one in North America, it is called as Ozark Plateau. It is called as Ozark Plateau. It is a shield region of USA. Okay. Surprisingly, USA does not have iron ore. Okay. Surprisingly, USA does not have the deposits of iron. The only deposit of iron which USA has is near the Lake Superior region. So such a big country like USA, but there are no iron ore reserves in USA. Okay. There is only one mine over there called as Mesa B mine. Okay. I will teach you when we'll do the physiography of that part. This is very interesting, guys, that how come a country wherein you don't have iron ore reserves today has the best hub of automotive manufacturing. Detroit, a city in the Michigan of USA, it is called as the automotive capital of the world. To think of this, that USA does not have iron ore. Okay, the only single mine of iron ore is Mesa B mine. It is Lake Superior region. Okay, so it's not what you have, it's what you make the best use of. Okay, even if you have low resources, but you make the best use of those resources, you make the best use of your diplomatic approach, you can make everything in this world. So it is the same thing with you guys. Okay, it will not matter how much you have studied. It will not matter the quantum of what efforts you have put in. It will always matter the quality of efforts which you have put. So resource management is very important from your side also. Okay, jokes apart, let's move ahead. So North America, you have Ozark in USA. Then South America, you do have the Brazilian Shield. Okay, the Borborema region. It is also called as the Brazilian Shield. Okay, the Brazilian Shield. Okay, it is also called as the Borborema region. Borborema region, but not that of consequence. The region which is of consequence in South America, it is called as Patagonia Shield. Okay, Patagonia Shield, very important shield region of South America. Then if we consider Europe, so the entire Scandinavian peninsula, Peninsula. Okay, the entire Scandinavian peninsula is a very important shield region. Okay, especially the Kejolen Mountains. Very important shield region of the world. Okay, after that, you do have Germany. In Germany, the southern part of Germany, it is called as Bavaria. Okay, very important shield region again for Germany, precursor to World War II. Okay. Then in Africa, you have the world's best shield region. It is called as Katanga Plateau. Very, very important shield region. Hence, I'm marking it 5-star. Okay. Africa. Then in Asia, if I talk about Asia, so Afghanistan, you have Pamir. you have Pamirs in India, you have Ladakh, okay, Ladakh and J&K, Ladakh and Kashmir Shield. Okay, recently you have discovery of lithium over here. So Ladakh and Kashmir, very important this. And in Thailand and Myanmar, you have Shan Plateau, and you have Korat Plateau. So Shan Plateau you have in Myanmar and Korat Plateau you have in Thailand. So again, these are very important shield regions. Shan Plateau is in Myanmar and Korat Plateau it is in Thailand. Okay, so Thailand is also famous for shield region. Okay, rest you know what Thailand is famous for, but you also have shield regions. Okay, you do have mineral reserves in Thailand. Okay, jokes apart. Then in Australia, the entire Western Australia, especially the Kimberley region, another name for this region, another plateau you have over here. I missed that entry when I was discussing the Australia. So you can remember this entry as Berkeley Tableland. Berkeley Tableland Plateau. Okay, Berkeley Tableland. Okay, so Berkeley Tableland Plateau. So please remember this also, Berkeley Tableland, very important shield region of Australia. Then in New Zealand, you have the Mackenzie, or the Otago Shield. Okay, very important shield region, guys. Okay, so Mackenzie or the Otago Shield. So guys, this sums up our discussion of the shield regions of the world. Those who are watching me, Abhay, anyone else, you are free to ask me anything if you are having any difficulty. Otherwise, we will move ahead now. We will advance our discussion towards understanding of the interior of the earth, and now I am introducing you to plate tectonics too. Okay, so let's move ahead. Meanwhile, if you have any difficulty, guys, you are free to ask me. Okay, so now guys, I will be now discussing the layering of earth per se. So the layering of earth or the interiors of earth can be discussed, okay, in two classifications, in two formats. Okay, the layers of the earth can either be discussed, can either be expressed, okay, thank you Abhay, can either be discussed or can either be grouped on the basis of chemical composition, okay. Okay, so what chemicals you have, chemical in the sense that what elements you have, what minerals you have, what are the individual properties, how do they behave at certain depth, how do they behave at certain pressure and temperature. So based on that, you will have the chemical composition of the layering of the earth. And number two, the layers of the earth or the interiors of the earth can be studied on the basis of mechanical rigidity. Okay, what do you mean by mechanical rigidity, guys? Mechanical rigidity means whether the earth layer are able to sustain stress, and if they are able to sustain stress, so are they in a solid form, are they in a semi-molten form, or they are completely fluidic. So either you can have solid, you can have semi-molten, or you can have fluidic. Okay, so if I consider the chemical composition based layering of the earth, okay, so if I only consider the chemical composition based layering of the earth, okay, so the earth is divided into three distinct layers. You have the crust, you have mantle, and you have core. You have crust, you have mantle, and you have core. Okay, if I'm drawing a very crude diagram, okay, very crude diagram, mind you guys, this diagram is solely for your understanding. I'm not going into the details of it. Whatever is needed for your understanding of plate tectonics, for your appreciation of the atlas, only that I'm doing. Okay, I'm not going to details of your syllabus. Okay, so if I'm drawing the diagram of the chemical layering of earth on the basis of the chemical properties, so it can be somewhat like this. Okay, so this is the uppermost layer. Okay, this is the uppermost layer. This is our continental crust. This is our oceanic crust. This is our oceanic crust. Okay. The thickness of continental crust normally ranges between 60 to 80 kilometers. The thickness of continental crust normally ranges between 60 to 80 kilometers, whereas the thickness of the oceanic crust ranges from 1 to 3 kilometers. I'm again reiterating, guys, the thickness of the continental crust varies between 60 to 80 kilometers, whereas the thickness of the oceanic crust, okay, the crust of the earth is divided into two. You have the continental crust and you have the oceanic crust. Okay, the thickness of continental crust is roughly 60 to 80 kilometers. The thickness of the oceanic crust is between 1 to 3 kilometers. Below this you have mantle. Okay, below this you have mantle. Okay, so mantle extends from below 60 to 80 kilometers or below 1 to 3 kilometers till a depth of 2900 kilometers, till a depth of 2900 kilometers. So this is the extent of mantle, and mantle is divided into three layers. You have outer mantle, you have middle mantle, outer, middle, and you have inner mantle. So these are the three distinct layers of mantle: outer, middle, and inner. So this is our mantle. So mantle extends till a depth of 2900 kilometers. Okay, the individual depths, the individual that I'm not discussing because unnecessarily it will complicate our syllabus. And below this, below 2900 kilometers, okay, below 2900 kilometers, you have the core of earth. You have the core of earth, and core is again differentiated into two. Core is again differentiated into the outer core and it is differentiated into the inner core. So you have outer core 2000 kilometers and you have inner core. Okay, and the outer core and inner core, the boundary of this is roughly 4800 kilometers. Okay, so the separation between the outer core and inner core is roughly 4800 kilometers. So mantle extends to a depth of 2900 kilometers. After that you have the outer core, you have the inner core, and both of the outer core and the inner core boundary between 4800 kilometers. So beyond 4800 kilometers you will have the inner core of earth. Okay, so the radius of earth roughly 6500 kilometers for our reference. So you can consider the inner core to be extending from 4800 to 6500 kilometers. Okay, this year a new layer inside the inner core has been discovered. It is called as the true inner core. It is called as the true inner core. Okay, how it has been discovered, what are the technologies behind it? So there is a technology called as seismic wave based analysis, wherein to try to analyze the interiors of earth based on the properties of mechanical waves. So you have longitudinal waves and you have transverse waves. Whenever earthquake comes, whenever the earth shatters, you have this waves being thrown out in the form of energy. So you basically analyze those waves, you see whether the waves are deflecting, whether the waves are refracting. So based on that analysis, you try to paint a picture of the earth's interior. That is called as the seismic wave based analysis of the earth's interior. It's a detailed syllabus of your GS mains part, guys. Not very difficult to understand, but right now we won't be venturing into it. But for now, just remember that using the earthquake wave based analysis, using the seismic wave analysis, a true inner core has been discovered inside the inner core itself. So this inner core, you also have another layer called as the true inner core. Okay, and the true inner core has density of roughly 13.5 to 13.7 and above. So very dense inner core. Okay, and mind you, this density is specific density. Okay, hence it will not have units. So this is on the basis of chemical composition, this is on the basis of chemical properties. But for you to understand the plate tectonics, for you to understand how the continents basically broke up from Pangea, how the continents basically drifted from their original place, you don't need to have in-depth information in this manner. You need to understand the layering of earth, the interiors of earth on the basis of mechanical rigidity. Okay, so today I'm just introducing you to mechanical rigidity. Tomorrow we'll go into the details of it. So if I consider the interiors of earth on the basis of mechanical rigidity. So on the basis of mechanical rigidity, again you have three distinct layers. Number first layer that you have, which you commonly have heard this name from me, from everybody, and I think that most of you must be knowing this name. The first layer, it is called as lithosphere. It is called as lithosphere. The second layer, again I have introduced you to this layer. The second layer, it is called as asthenosphere. It is called as asthenosphere. And the third layer you have, this is called as mesosphere. It is also called as mesosphere, or it is also called as barysphere. It is called as barysphere. It is also called as barysphere. So what is lithosphere, what is asthenosphere, and what is barysphere? This we will try to paint a picture in the next class, wherein I will be going to details of this, and in next class I will be introducing all you to plate tectonics. So if possible for you guys, before coming to next class tomorrow, if possible, please have a read up of NCERT, 11th NCERT, the first two chapters of geomorphology. It will help you a lot in understanding what I will teach you. Okay, so if you want to understand plate tectonics, the mechanical based rigidity, wherein we understand whether the layer of the earth is solid, whether it is semi-molten, or whether it is fluidic, that comes very very handy, because then only we can paint a picture whether the continents have actually drifted and moved apart. Because we know that India was not where we have. India has basically come down from south. But how is this movement possible? Okay, somebody did ask me, I guess it was Abhay only who asked me that how is this possible. So we will try to paint a picture tomorrow as to how is this possible. Okay, so here I sum up my lecture for today. I hope this lecture was convincing to each and every one of you. Please focus on the content part, and tomorrow before coming, try to read up chapter on geomorphology, the first two chapters of NCERT. So on the basis of StudyIQ English IAS, and on the behalf of me, Pritesh Maturkar, I extend my warmest regards to everyone. Okay, I urge you all to please join a Telegram initiative which has been born by me. My name is, again, I'm reiterating, my name is Pritesh Mathurkar. All the relevant current affairs with regards to geography discipline, all the important tidbits, the PDFs of these discipline are shared by me publicly on this group. It is called as Geography by Pritesh Mathurkar. The channel name, it's an open channel, and you, for joining this, you can just do a global search on Telegram at Geography by Pritesh, wherein I keep on sharing the relevant tidbits of this discipline. Okay, so I thank each and every one of you, those who are watching me and those who are sticking me from lecture number 1. I hope this journey is encouraging to everyone, and that you are basically fulfilled. You are having a sense of satisfaction in this journey. So see you all tomorrow sharp at 5 p.m. Okay, take care everyone. Please study hard and smart. See you all tomorrow. How many kilometers we had to dig to make? Abhay, up till now we have just dug up roughly 13 to 14 kilometers. Beyond that we are not able to dug up because we don't have big instruments with us. Okay, we don't have that technology that we can go beyond 13 to 14 kilometers. The deepest hole dug up till now, it is in Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia. Okay, I will do that when we'll do Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay, chalo. Okay, chalo. So take care everyone. See